Yesterday, my dad asked me what he thought was a relatively simple question about elderflower cordial, and this is what I told him. Sugar in itself isn't inherently bad. It's just an easy access form of carbohydrate which our body loves to use for energy. The key to healthy sugar consumption lies not in demonizing it, but in understanding how to match the form of sugar to our body's metabolic needs and tolerance level, as that will dictate whether it's a productive fuel or something that overwhelms your system. When you consume sugar, it's quickly absorbed into your bloodstream, which raises your blood glucose level. In response, insulin is released to help shuttle that glucose into cells for energy, or if you've got enough already, it'll move to storage, firstly as glycogen in liver and muscle cells, or if they're full, then as fat in adipose tissue. The issue is that most people are now too often spiking their blood sugar through grazing rather than having meals with defined gaps in between, opting for sweetened snacks, drinks, or lots of refined carbs without adequate protein, fiber, and fat to balance them out. And if you don't have a need for that rapid access energy, then that forces continuous production of insulin in high amounts, which over time reduces your cell's sensitivity to insulin, which is what we would call insulin resistance. And that can also cause things like energy crashes, mood swings, increased abdominal fat storage, and a raised risk of issues like type 2 diabetes. But context and format is everything. In front of me, I have a few examples of simple sugar foods, moving from a whole food matrix example all the way to an ultra-processed example. The more intact the food matrix, the more difficult it is to get access to the energy inside. And you have other elements which will moderate your level of consumption and thus your overall portion size. This doesn't mean that more quickly absorbed forms of sugar are bad. They have a role. For example, during endurance exercise, your muscles need fast fuel. In that case, jam or cordial can be really useful because the body can immediately access that energy. Or if you have elderflower with sparkling water occasionally alongside food, then the protein, fat, and fiber of the meal balances out the sugar. But you wouldn't drink it all day. Sorry, Dad. If you're sitting at your desk though, your energy demands are low. You can still enjoy something that contains sugar, but a whole apple with its slower release and lower total quantity of sugar is more suitable. It aligns with your body's natural energy needs and glucose tolerance. And the other major factor in your ability to tolerate sugar is your muscle mass percentage. Because muscle is metabolically active and it acts like a sponge for glucose. The more lean muscle you have, the better your insulin sensitivity and your glucose storage capacity as a result. Sugar isn't our enemy. We just live in a very sweet world these days and need to learn how to utilize it as a valuable tool at the right moments, but avoid making it our go-to. When consumed in a way that aligns with your metabolism and needs, it becomes a really helpful fuel source that will enhance health, not detract from it.